from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Today, the New York Mets visit the Montreal Expos. Mets Baseball 95 is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By the new Sunoco MasterCard that can earn you free Sunoco gasoline. By Coca-Cola, always in the game, always Coca-Cola. And by Roy Rogers, hurry into Roy's. The pitching matchup in today's game for the New York Mets, their rookie, Jason Isringhausen, going for his 4th win in a row. And on the other side, the left-handed rookie, Carlos Perez, 10-5 on the year for the Expos.
The French have an expression for it. It's called "deux mondes de différence." It means worlds apart. And I'm not talking about Gary Thorne or me. I'm Tim McCarver. I'm talking about the pitching matchup today between Carlos Perez and Jason Isringhausen. Isringhausen from Brighton, Illinois, and Perez from the Dominican Republic, and they're meeting in Montreal trying to get hitters out.
And they have gotten hitters out everywhere else they've been this season. You take a look at the numbers for Jason Isringhausen, AA, AAA, and the Major League level. He's had 27 starts, a combined 16-4 record, has worked 187 innings. He has lost in his one matchup against Montreal this season. For the other rookie, Carlos Perez, that 9-1 mark at home, with that goes the 3rd lowest home ERA in the National League, and in the games he has lost, very little run support there, only 9 runs in those 5 losses. A couple of real good rookie starters in this game.
It is a terrific matchup, and it's payback time really for the Montreal Expos. The Mets have won 2 in a row. Bobby Jones with a shutout on Friday night, and then the Mets winning last night 6-5. A very exciting ball game. John Franco with his 22nd save of the season, and Jason Isringhausen will go for victory number 6 this afternoon. And his mound opponent, what's new? He sprinted to the mound.
And he's a left-hander. Those are the numbers for the Mets against southpaws. It'll be the 3rd consecutive southpaw they have seen in this series, and he's a good one.
Pitched in the All-Star game down at the ballpark in Arlington. He pitched 1 inning in that game. Carlos Perez, 10-5, 9-1 here in Montreal. And you talk about antics, folks. He has them. Fun to watch.
Fun to watch, tough to hit. We'll see how this lineup does it for the Mets. Brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer. Damon Buford again leading it off in left field for the Mets. Jose Vizcaino at shortstop will be batting 2nd. Carl Everett in right field 3rd. Jeff Kent, 2nd base in the cleanup spot. Chris Jones will be back at 1st base against the left-hander. Ryan Thompson in center field 6th. Butch Husky at 3rd base will bat 7th. Kelly Stinnett will start the catching, and Jason Isringhausen will be on the mound.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Expos. Henry Rodriguez in left, Rondell White in center, Tony Tarasco, who did not start in last night's game. He did pinch hit, however. Sean Berry's having a terrific year. He's at 3rd. Mark Grudzielanek, the shortstop. Mike Lansing at 2nd. David Segui at 1st. And Tim Laker behind the plate. We're off to a better start than last night because I got Grudzielanek right.
We can only continue it.
The dimensions here at Olympic Stadium, or Stade Olympique, is 325 down the lines, 375 into left and right center, and straightaway center is 404 feet. The umpires for this afternoon's game, Jerry Davis behind the plate, Wally Bell at 1st, Terry Tata at 2nd, he's the crew chief, and Eric Gregg in his 18th year is down at 3rd. Dallas Green remembers 1980, the next to the last day of the season, when Mike Schmidt hit a 2-run homer off Stan Bonson in this ballpark to clinch the Eastern Division of the National League, and they went on to beat the Houston Astros in a very thrilling National League Championship Series in 5 games, and they beat the Kansas City Royals in the World Series in 6, the only World Championship the Philadelphia Phillies have ever won. And that was under the tutelage of Dallas Green as Damon Buford takes ball 1 high. 1-0 to Buford. Good fastball from Perez. And the amazing thing about Perez, and Felipe Alou knows that, manager of the year last year, Perez from his home country, the Dominican Republic, but it's the control that Perez has. Change up and a bunt attempt, foul back, 1-2 to Buford.
He only walks 1.7 per 9 innings, which is ranked third among all pitchers in the National League, so he doesn't give you the free pass. He has, however, won only one game in his last 5 starts. He's had a couple of losses and a couple no decision games, but as we told you at the top, he hasn't had run support in those losses.
Change up gets Buford. Tagged by Laker, 1 out.
And the reactions already start for the 23-year-old Carlos Perez. Gets the strikeout, and I don't know what he did, but you saw it.
Wearing the same numbers his brother Melito does with the New York Yankees. There are 4 Perez brothers that have played professionally. Carlos makes 5. The most renowned, I guess, Pascual, and then Melito with the Yankees. Also Vladimir, who was with the Mets in their chain from 87 to 89, and Ruben Dario. 0-1 to Jose Vizcaino. Just underway at the Big O. Great matchup, Perez and Isringhausen.
He's a non-drafted free agent too. I mean, all the scouts, despite the fact he had all that pitching history in the family, didn't think enough to draft him, and ended up being signed. He is something else.
Isringhausen, on the other hand, was drafted as an outfielder in the 44th round. That's why he sports number 44. Good fastball from Perez. 0-2 now to Jose Vizcaino. Line to right field and foul. So still 0-2 to Jose. Jose very familiar with Perez. They are countrymen. Vizcaino also from the Dominican Republic. Matter of fact, they have played on winter teams together. Vizcaino is jammed. Redzelanek, a double clutch, and out at first is Vizcaino. Redzelanek did not appear to be able to get the ball out of the glove, but he did to just get Vizcaino 2 outs.
This came to be a very close play on what looked like a routine ground ball. He did stay back a little bit on that right there. See, he had trouble getting it out, had to take 2 shuffle steps, and got it over there in a very close play at first base.
Carl Everett, the switch hitter, of course, batting right-handed against Perez. First pitch outside, ball 1 to Carl. You mentioned Perez. Look at the numbers on Everett. Perez with only 1 win in his last 5 starts. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. He has been bothered with a lower disc problem, similar problem that Edgardo Alfonzo has for New York. Alfonzo, by the way, will be examined this week in New York to see if surgery is necessary. A ball and 2 strikes to Everett.
And like Isringhausen, start before last, Perez missed because of that back, and then came back and was held to a pitch count and came out throwing a no-hitter against the Giants.
6 2/3 innings, and he has one going against the Mets. A perfect game, as a matter of fact. The Mets win in order in their half of the first. Isringhausen will try to get the Expos to do the same. His last outing, his best outing of the year. He worked 8 innings against San Diego last Tuesday night. Matter of fact, we carried that game, and he was brilliant. Walking 3, striking out 2. So Jason Isringhausen going after win number 6.
Felipe Alou's lineup for the Montreal Expos will look like this. Rondell White leads it off in center field. Grudzielanek moves up into the 2 spot at shortstop. David Segui, the former Met, at first base third. Sean Berry continues his hit streak at third base. Henry Rodriguez in left field. Mike Lansing will bat 6th at second base. Tony Tarasco in right field 7th. Tim Lakers doing the catching, batting 8th, and Perez will hit 9th.
We'll set the defense for you a little later as Rondell White rips the first pitch from Isringhausen up the middle for a base hit. So White on the first pitch singles to center. And here's the defense for the Mets. Buford, Thompson, Everett in the outfield. Husky, Vizcaino, Kent, and Jones at first. Once again, his fifth start at first. And Kelly Stinnett behind the plate. Rondell White a threat to run. He has stolen 21 in 25 attempts. And the batter Mark Grudzielanek. We'll see if Felipe Alou will bunt with Grudzielanek here in the first with Perez pitching. Close. But no Havana.
Expos well aware that base stealers have run rather freely on Jason Isringhausen, because that's one of the aspects of his game that he's trying to fine-tune. That's holding runners closer.
One of the best ways to hold a runner at first base is to make him wait. Hold the ball. First pitch inside to Grudzielanek. Mark, the batter in last night's game with 2 on and 2 out. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Mets up by a run, and Grudzielanek hit a ball off the end of the bat off the glove of John Franco. Jeff Kent fielded it and threw to Rico Brogna. Brogna with a brilliant pick to end the ball game. Pitch out, and that's dangerous. Now the count 2-0.
And almost wasn't a pitch out, Timmy. That ball was in over the plate, I think, but way up high.
Almost a pitch in.
Almost a pitch in. One of those that could have been hit. Kelly Stinnett or any other catcher. That'll drive you nuts, because that batter swings and you're stepping up to take it.
Jammed. Kent. Vizcaino back to first, and the bobble was made on the throw. He actually didn't throw to first. He tried to, but the hard sliding White perhaps causing Vizcaino to bobble the ball. 1 out as Kent gets the lead runner.
Good play by Kent here. Has got to move over and make that awkward throw back the other way. Actually got it there in time. There was a chance for 2 here if Vizcaino could get rid of that ball. They had a real good chance to turn the double play, but it popped out of his hand as he transferred it from glove to bare hand.
That'll bring up David Segui, who had a 3-run homer against Isringhausen on the 15th of August. That led to the undoing of the young right-hander. Montreal won that game 3-1. So both young pitchers today 0-1 against their opponents. There goes Grudzielanek, and the throw by Stinnett, no way to get Mark. He had a terrific jump.
No question they're looking to run. His 7th stolen base, but again, Isringhausen forgot. He had thrown over a couple on White. He forgot here, though. He just never looked over. Grudzielanek got an enormous jump, because that's a pretty decent throw down there, but he's into the bag before the ball ever gets there. He didn't have a big lead. He just got a big jump.
Yeah, Dallas Green, the first guy to admit that the first thing the Mets pitchers have to work on next spring is holding runners close. Of course, the abbreviated spring training this year, they really didn't have a chance to work on much. The knuckle curve is down and in. 1-1 to David Segui.
David, since leaving the Mets, 3 hits in 14 at-bats against New York.
One of those, as we mentioned, a home run off Isringhausen. Low, ball 2, 2-1. Now, I know a lot of Mets fans are out there saying, well, if Segui's having such a good year and he's having a terrific year for Montreal, why'd they trade him? Well, it's pretty simple. They had a numbers problem. Edgardo Alfonso, the Mets wanted to get him in at third base. Bobby Bonilla at the time was still a force, and not enough organizations had offered enough for Bonilla. So Segui had to be traded, forced to trade him, and nobody could have foreseen the type of success that he's having. Ground ball hard off the glove and body of Husky. Grudzielanek will try to score, and the throw by Buford not in time. Segui to second base, and it'll be a base hit. The ball hit Husky on the left elbow, 1-0 Montreal.
And Butch Husky may be hurt. A ferocious hop on that shot down to third. He was worried about getting caught in the head on that. That may have caught a seam down there,
yeah, between
the dirt and the carpet.
You're right, Gary.
That's about the only time you get a ball that does that on this carpet surface, is if it gets on that little ridge. And when a ball's hit hard and hits that ridge, I mean, it is a rocket shot on the first hop. And that's what happened right there. The surprise was that the runner was coming home. That ball got out there to Damon Buford in a hurry. Look at that shot, though. Ooh. Then he kind of landed on that right wrist, trying to get out of the way of that ball. You can bet he got an elbow burn off the carpet. You can see the cutout area there where the dirt is. Obviously, you're going to have a seam and a ridge, as that dirt level is a little bit lower than the carpet itself. So you got a bump there, and that's where you don't want a ball to hit if you're an infielder.
You look for one reason that Segui's having such a good year, and that's it. He's hitting the ball with authority the other way, using all parts of the field in which to hit. Here's Sean Berry. 1-0 Montreal. Ground ball up the middle. Vizcaíno on a great play, not in time at first.
Well, this has started out as a carpet game. These are the kind of things that happen on the artificial carpet. That ball, once it's down on the ground, really skitters towards center. Outstanding play there. Great stretch by Chris Jones to try and come up with the out. Can't do it. Vizcaíno ranging over. He's going to have a burn on that arm, too, right there, sliding along that carpet. Left side of the infield's 2 for 2 in arm burns.
So just like the carpetbaggers after the Civil War, the Expos have exploded for one. They are threatening here. Henry Rodriguez is the batter. First and third, 1 out. Carpetbaggers, by the way, received in the South about the way the Expos are being received by the Mets here in the first inning.
It's rejected.
Unsavory fashion, right. Fastball is low to Rodriguez, ball 1. Being from the South, I am not a fan of carpetbaggers, by the way. I just thought I'd bring that up.
I'm from the North, and I'm not either.
Well, in a sense, I guess both organizations here, like the South after the Civil War, Reconstruction, both with good young players. Mets with the youngest team in the National League. Both teams with small payrolls. Mets are next to last. The Expos are last in the National League. 2 balls, no strikes to Henry Rodriguez.
Billy Paolou having to do this season without Walker, without Grissom, after they put together the game's best record last year, 74-40. But then it all came to a grinding, striking halt. Dallas has had to rebuild as this year's gone along. You needed a lineup card with the Mets, a roster every day.
Rodriguez is jammed. Isringhausen wanted to take it himself, but he's waved off by Vizcaíno for the second out in the inning. That could be a big out, because now there are 2 outs with Mike Lansing, the second baseman, coming up.
If Isringhausen and the Mets get out of this inning, giving up only 1, it'll be a success. Isringhausen, you got to get out of there even faster than that. The very thought of trying to go after that pop-up is one he's got to give up, unless it's one of those very low pop-ups where only he's got a chance to catch it. Otherwise, you just move out.
Mike Lansing greeted with occasional boos, not nearly as bad as they were Friday night or last night. Lansing with some disparaging remarks about a French flight steward on the charter flight the Expos took back to Montreal on Thursday night. Ended up Thursday evening. 1-1 to Lansing. He apologized, but if you caught our broadcast last night, it was not an apology that was well received. by the French, predominantly French-speaking Canadians in this area. 1-1 to Lansing. Line drive, base hit, left field. Segui scores. It's 2-0 Montreal.
Lansing has had an outstanding year for the Expos this season. That RBI being his 57th. He's set an all-time record now for RBIs by second baseman with the Expos, exceeding Delino DeShields' number, and he continues on. He's been one of their best clutch hitters, and he does it there with 2 down.
So hit number 4 for the Expos here in the first, and Tony Tarasco the batter. Tarasco batting only .246 as he taps one towards short. Vizcaino will have to go to first to get Tarasco, but the Expos on the board. It's 2-0 Montreal. We're back after this. Top of the second, the Mets with a small hill to climb. Montreal with 4 singles and 2 runs in their half of the first. Mets going in order. Carlos Perez striking out 2 in the top half of the first, and Jeff Kent the batter. Mets have not hit well on this road trip, even though they're 6-5. Their pitching has just been superb. They're now, as a team, 3rd in the National League, and Kent promptly sends one to left field. So the first Mets base runner is Jeff Kent, leads off the second. Chris Jones coming up.
Jeff getting back into the lineup after missing the first game of this series because of that quadricep muscle pull. 1 for 5 in the ball game last night, and his second hit of the series right there. His good buddy David Segui.
And they're both talking to one another because both of them are 1 for 1 in this game. If both players were on.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, of course. If they were on errors, there would not be as much talk. Chris Jones, the batter, batting .281, and he fouls it back. 0-1. You know, in my experience in 21 years talking to first basemen, and when I was a first baseman and talking to runners, not one word meant anything. And that's the truth.
So you're
how's
saying
the family? Gee, you're hitting it well, and neither person cared how the other one was doing. 1-1.
They were non-substantive discussions.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That's better put.
No, that's what it was. 21 years of bull.
Also correct. Popped up and playable. Laker, the catcher, off with the mask to make the catch. 1 out.
Now they have to discard 2 pieces of equipment. You didn't wear a helmet underneath your mask, did you?
I did later on.
Later on.
After a couple of nicks on the coconut, that'll make you wear a helmet. But Laker, I mean, a catcher, what he tries to do, he tries to find the ball and then throw the mask. If you throw it prematurely, see Laker how he flips off the mask, now the hat to make the catch. If you flip it prematurely, you're liable to trip over it.
Yes. The ultimate embarrassment for a catcher.
Yes, yes. Ryan Thompson now. Perez has committed 3 balks on the year, and it's a rather foolish throw to first with Kent with the quadricep strain.
You also, if you're on the bases against him, have to be aware he has 8 wild pitches. So he'll bury a few, and you can garner a base or 2 on him.
Outside corner, strike 1 to Thompson.
He's loved this series with those 3 left-handers in a row pitching for Montreal.
Budweiser star of the game last night. 3 runs driven in. Mets winning 6-5. They trail here 2-0.
Even though he's left-handed, Perez doesn't have a particularly strong move for left-handed to first base. It takes him a while to get that ball over there. He's fairly obvious about his throws. Now, he hasn't shown us the good move yet, but
good inside heater to Thompson. 0-2 to Ryan.
I don't know how he can see home plate over his right cheek. He got enough stuff in there to do 4 or 5 cement walls.
It's like he's got a mogul stuffed in his right cheek. Fouled away. Thompson still alive. 0-2 to Ryan Thompson. 23 years old, signing with the Expos in 1988 as a 17-year-old on the recommendation of his oldest brother, Pascual Perez, who was at that time pitching for the Expos. Might add, equally animated, and Melito with the Yankees is about as calm and stoic as Isringhausen.
Very shy, actually. Melito Perez is a very shy person around the ballpark and when working.
Change up, foul back, mistake there, but Perez got away with it. Still 0-2 to Ryan Thompson. You know, he does it all the time, and it's almost like the players have come to laugh with and at Perez.
Look at him. He can't believe he got away with that, and then he can't believe he didn't get the out on it.
I think the former rather than the latter.
Yeah.
That was a hanger right there. Thompson jammed up the middle. Double play ball is turned nicely by the Expos. With Gary Thorne, I'm Tim McCarver here in Montreal, Quebec. The Mets wrap up this series and road trip tomorrow evening. Bill Pulsipher against Pedro Martinez. Expos scoring 2 times on 4 singles in the bottom half of the first inning. And the catcher, Tim Laker, will be the first hitter against Jason Isringhausen. We are reminded that tomorrow will be the last game on artificial surface this year for the Mets. Laker with a bunt and a beauty. Husky, the bare hand throw. He throws it away. Backed up nicely by Kent. So a bunt base hit for Tim Laker, who appears to have strained a hamstring, quad, or a groin. Usually if they reach for the back of the leg, it's a hamstring problem.
Trying to extend the step a little bit as he was going down the line. I think's when he did it. Right here, Husky, not much of a chance. Even a good throw, you see no way he's going to get him. And there's the grab of the back of the leg. Right here, he's trying to stretch it out. And there it is.
Got 2 strides before he hit the bag. And I think Darren Fletcher is coming in the game to pinch run for Tim Laker. So Fletcher, the pinch runner, that may be a first, having a catcher as a pinch runner. But of course you don't want to waste another player. That's why Philippe Alou will go to another catcher who will stay in the game, and Laker writhing in pain there.
Laker had not appeared in this series. Fletcher has been behind the plate as his day was going to be his day off. No more.
No mas. Perez the batter. Fouls it off. 0-1 to Carlos Perez. He's actually hit for the cycle this year. He has a double, triple, home run, 3 singles.
5 RBIs. That's pretty good. 42 at-bats for a pitcher.
And the bunt's a good one. Isringhausen wanted to go to second. Fletcher cheating a little bit on that play, and because of that he makes it rather handily. And the sacrifice successful for Perez. That's his 4th sacrifice of the year. Rondell White, the batter, Thunder Hands, his manager calls him. And I'll tell you, when you're around the batting cage down there and you see this guy hit and the way the ball jumps off his bat, you know why he is nicknamed Thunder Hands. Grounder, chopper. Husky will just eat it, knowing that a throw possibly would allow Fletcher to go to third. So an infield hit for Rondell White.
Boy, we have had a collection of hits here worthy of reviewing on the artificial carpet. That one bounced off the plate. In this series, we've seen 4 or 5 balls that have come off that plate and go a mile high. No chance for Husky. He just wants to make sure that Fletcher doesn't move down to third.
Third infield hit of this ball game against Isringhausen. Hit number 6 for the Expos, and a swing and a miss by Mark Grizzolonic, the shortstop.
But the only area that he hasn't done well in this season, Grizzolonic, getting people home. He's got a meager .204 average with runners in scoring position this year.
0-2 for the Montreal shortstop, who spent July and August at Ottawa in the International League. Will Cordero, the regular Expos shortstop for the last 3 years, started last night's game in left field, and talk about making left field a permanent place for him. Foul back, but you don't know whether Cordero can hit enough to be a regular left fielder.
His problem at short is he doesn't throw well enough to play shortstop. Grizzolonic has a great arm on him. He's got a gun, can play anywhere in the infield. He's just coming off the flu. He lost 7 pounds over the last 3 days. The flu kept him out of the last road game they were on 4 days ago.
Fouls the knuckle curve away. Still 0-2 to Grizzolonic. Two on, 1 out here in the second. 2-0 Expos. Breaking ball. See you later. First strikeout for Isringhausen. 2 out. David Segui coming up.
Really tied him up again. He came in twice with that knuckle curveball. Grizzolonic, you see him flinch on that. He wasn't expecting that pitch and could not get that bat into position to swing on it.
David Segui, a single, driving in run number 59 on the year in the first inning. So David 1 for 1. And he fouls it back.
David has now taken the team lead in RBIs with Moises Salou out of the lineup. Did pinch hit, but he's got a shoulder problem, torn muscle in the shoulder, and David went by him with the RBI in this ball game. 59 RBIs, leads the team.
Yeah, in last night's game, Alou, the pinch hitter with 2 out and the potential tying run at second base. Dallas Green going against all conventional wisdom in baseball, putting the potential winning run on base, but Grizzolonic made the last out. Isringhausen has thrown 10 pitches here in the second inning, and all have been strikes. 0-1 to Segui. Sure. I know, my fault. 1-1 to Segui. Mention a no-hitter.
Yeah.
The minute you get it out of your mouth,
there it
base
goes.
hit.
Yeah. Blame it on the media.
Breaking ball is high. 2 balls and 1 strike after 10 straight strikes, and my mention of it. 2 straight balls. It's amazing with some fans how much power they think you have. They think if you say, I mean, this jinx stuff. You know, a lot of that transpires in the dugout too. A lot of guys wearing their Jim Fregosi, the Phillies, wears the same jacket, much to the dismay of his teammates and his team. Good luck jackets can become kind of gamey. It's 2-0 after 2. 2-0 Expos here in the top of the 3rd inning. The Expos have stranded 2 against Isringhausen. The Mets have only 1 hit as Carlos Perez has faced the minimum through 2. Bottom of the order, Butch Husky, Kelly Stinnett, and Jason Isringhausen.
We mentioned earlier about Perez in that last start having a no-hitter and still being taken out because he has the back problem and they wanted him held to a pitch count. We think he's probably going to be held to a pitch count again today of somewhere between 80 and 90 pitches. Not sure, but that's the way they started this game anyway.
Inside, the fastball misses. Butch Husky, 3 home runs on the year. Had 3 walks in last night's game. Change and a beauty there. 1-1 to Husky. Right on the corner. Ball and 2 strikes to Husky. Perez continues to stay ahead of the hitters. Just missing. 2-2. Changeup gets Husky. 3rd strikeout for Perez. 1 out here in the 3rd, and Kelly Stinnett coming up.
98 strikeouts for the season in 132 innings for Perez. Not an exceptionally high number when you combine that, though, with the fact he walks less than 2 per 9 innings. That's impressive on the ratio.
Had a career strikeout high against the Mets his last time as Kelly Stinnett rifles one to left center, short hopping the left center field wall. So Kelly Stinnett with his 8th double of the year and hit number 2 for the Mets.
Kelly came up looking that time. He was ready on that first pitch. Obviously had decided as to what he thought he was going to get from Perez and got it. Wow. Fastball at the knees right over the middle of the plate. 1 hop the wall.
Isringhausen, his first hit against Montreal's Butch Henry on the 15th of August. He's the batter, batting .222. Stinnett on at second, 1 out here in the 3rd. 2-0 Montreal. I can't believe Segui charging at first base. There's 1 out. Now he's looking to the dugout and he's pointing out there, and I think Segui thought it was nobody out. Why in the world are you charging? What's the advantage of getting a runner from second to third? David probably thinking those short naps are great.
Thank God he didn't hit the ball.
0-2 to Jason Isringhausen.
He'd come in 3/4 of the way. He was right on top of Isringhausen, who took that big cut. You know, Isringhausen was looking down there, just delighting in the fact he had all that room at first, but he couldn't get the bat on the ball.
So is he down on strikes? 4 strikeouts now for Perez. We mentioned the strikeouts back on the 15th of or 16th of August. He struck out 8 Mets, career high.
See that movement? He keeps that ball down low, and you know when he's got a strikeout. There's a dance somewhere on Crescent Street named after him. I know it.
Or there will be.
There will be.
Damon Buford, the batter. He takes a fastball high. You know, you may be wondering how Perez ended up with back problems. That might be the reason. And I'm saying that about half in jest.
He gets some pretty good torque on that back, the way he jumps up and down and slams his feet into the mound after the strikeout.
Low, ball 2, 2-0. Now you can see it coming in about 5 years, the Carlos Perez exercise video.
Just outtakes from ball games.
Right. Buford jammed, and he fouls it back. 2-1 to Damon, who's had a good road trip. He's been on base 14 of his last 32 at bats.
After sitting a lot of this road trip with these left-handers pitching, he's had the opportunity to come in and again get consecutive starts in these 3 games.
Outside corner, 2-2 to Buford. Stinnett on at second, 2 outs, 2-0 Montreal here in the 3rd. Line to center field, base hit. We'll see if Stinnett can score. Rondell White with a poor throwing arm, and Stinnett scores. 2-1 Montreal as Buford delivers.
Good piece of hitting by Damon Buford. He's not 100% running. He's limping his way down to first base, kind of hopscotching along, but he still hit the baseball hard. So the Mets get a big 2-out hit right there. Something else they've done on this road trip that they hadn't done much of this season. 2-out hits. Perez this time again getting one over the middle of the plate. Not so much of a reaction on that one.
RBI number 9 for Damon Buford, and Jose Vizcaino the batter. Outside, ball 1. I heard something last night, and I guess when you're around the game, regardless of how many years you're around it, you keep hearing new things, and it made a lot of sense. Claude Ramon, the broadcaster, ex-pitcher, major league pitcher for the Expos. There's a strike, 1-1 to Vizcaino. Told me that he suggested to Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach of the Expos, to try to help center fielder Rondell White with his throwing. I said, you know, I've never heard of that, but that makes sense. I mean, here's a guy who is trained in the art of throwing a baseball, and why not?
You work on mechanics with pitchers.
Sure.
Why not work on mechanics with outfielders?
Sure. Coaches usually, as Perez throws to first, coaches don't like to get into other areas. Tommy Harper is the outfielder coach.
I don't know what this stutter step was here.
Whoops. Johnny Mathis, not knowing my right foot from my left, my hat's from my glove.
He was almost misty.
But I mean, that does make sense. I mean, here's a guy who, you know, he's trained to help guys throw baseballs. So why wouldn't a pitching coach help an outfielder with a throw? Might say, well, a pitching coach is trained to teach guys to pitch 60 feet 6 inches, but we're just talking about mechanics of throwing right here. Rondell White, they say, has a fairly strong arm, but he takes too long to get rid of it. Line drive, base hit, left field. So Vizcaino exchanges a bat for a hit. Buford stops at second. Third hit of the inning for the Mets. 2 on, 2 out. Carl Everett coming up.
Splintered the bat on that one. A real good series for Vizcaino now. That's 5 hits in 12 at-bats for him as he continues his magnificent season. Watch the bat on this, though. Right in two. But he got enough of it on the barrel to put it over the shortstop's head. Where's Vizcaino's card?
Let's see. That hit makes it worth about 22 cents now.
I got it right here. I know I had it.
Hit deep to left center. Back is White, and this ball is gone. Home run, Carl Everett. A 3-run, 2-out shot off Perez. 4-2 New York.
Well, Carl Everett has not had a great batting average on this road trip. 220 coming into this game, but Everett leads the Mets on this road trip in RBIs. He now has 12 RBIs on this road trip, so virtually every hit he's had has been one that's resulted in driving somebody across the plate. Boy, he launches this one, his 11th home run of the season.
Talk about discombobulated. Perez, thinking that there were runners still on, went into his stretch and now has righted himself. All runs scoring with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. 4-2 New York. Carl Everett strutting around like Chad Everett. Home run number 11 for Carl. Change up misses. Ball 1 to Kent, who singled in the 2nd.
Everett hitting that right-handed for Carl Everett. That is the 6th home run right-handed. 5 left. Extra base hits, you see, those he's picked up this season since joining the Mets. And for Perez, he's given up 15 home runs, and they've all been hit by right-handed hitters. I mean, he's made mistakes in this inning. That's another pitch that's laid right out over the plate, about knee high, and then a line shot over the wall.
1-1 to Kent. Ball and 2 strikes to Jeff. Carl Everett's first home run since August 25th. That was when he hit the grand slam home run off Willie Blair of the Padres.
Carpet burn, I would expect, is what putting a little salve on there for Vizcaino.
Outside, 2-2 now to Jeff Kent. It is a real thrill to see this team blossom as it has in the second half of the season. I mean, they are a force with which to be contended. 30-24 since the All-Star break. Give you an idea, the Expos are 1 game under 500, 27-28.
Timmy, the first half of the season, we talked about how this team had a dreadful batting average with 2 down and runners on. They couldn't get anybody home. During this road trip, they've been innumerable times, including this inning, where with 2 down, they've scored all their runs.
Buford single and the 3-run homer by Everett. Sandwiched in there, a single by Jose Vizcaino.
That's a great sign. It's a sign of confidence in your hitters. When you start delivering 2-out hits, it means the hitters are starting to believe in themselves, and they aren't going up there thinking, I can't do it. They're going up there believing, yeah, I can, and they are.
Still 3-2 to Kent. 2-out RBI for the most part. You have to get a hit to drive him in. It's not a cheap RBI. You can't lift a fly ball deep to center and score a run from third like you can with 1 or none outs. You can't early in a ball game drive in a run with the infield back, as Everett did last night. Still 3-2 to Kent. For the most part, you have to do it yourself. That's why it is such a key category.
And Everett's moved his scoring position batting average up over 300 with that hit. So another one of the young guys who's becoming a very good clutch hitter for the Mets.
41 RBIs now for Carl Everett. This one hit deep to left field. Back is the left fielder Rodriguez, and he watches it go. Home run Jeff Kent, number 17 on the year, and it's now 5-2 New York.
So Perez, who came into this game having worked 6 2/3 of no-hit ball in his last outing, with 2 down, cannot find the 3rd out in this inning. Back-to-back home runs, Everett and Kent, in a ballpark that does not give them up readily. But again, Carlos Perez puts one in there. Now, that's a little further out, but it's still at the level where Kent could go down and get it and drive it, and a little bit further than Everett's home run, same spot in left.
Strike 1 to Chris Jones. Nothing in 1 to Chris. That's 5 2-out runs here in the 3rd. Outside corner, nothing in 2. In the dirt, 1 and 2 to Chris Jones. And Gil Heredia, the right-hander, up and throwing for Montreal.
As a fan, I really love seeing what's happening here at the latter part of the season, overall with the Mets, obviously. But the people who are doing it are going to make the decisions even tougher for Mets management. You got Jeff Kent, who remains somewhat of an enigma on this team.
Yeah.
You're going to move Alfonso to second base and take him out of there when he starts hitting the ball long late in the year. You got Husky driving the ball at 3rd. You got Vizcaino, who's already got a job that someone's got to take away from him.
Well, there were antics earlier by Perez, but not here in the 3rd. It's 5-2 New York. Fans, join us on Sunday, September 17th. That's next Sunday for Dunkin' Donuts Coffee Mug Day. All fans age 15 and over at the 1:40 Mets-Phillies game will receive a 14-ounce mug courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. For tickets, you can call 718-507-TIXX during business hours or stop by the Mets clubhouse shops. A per-ticket surcharge applies.
And we want to remind you, Fan Appreciation Day is coming up on Saturday, September 30th. Tickets will be drawn throughout the 1:40 Mets-Braves game for great prizes, including weekend getaways, automobiles, gift certificates, and many more items. For ticket information or to charge seats by phone, call the Mets at 718-507-TIXX during business hours. A per-ticket surcharge applies.
Well, those cards went up if they're holding Mets cards. Carl Everett with a 2-out, 3-run homer. Jeff Kent with a solo shot. Got the tag of his cap sticking out and doesn't care.
Not at all.
Read them and weep.
Got him. Don't need him.
Been there, done that. Sean Berry leads it off against Jason Isringhausen. Jason staked to a 3-run lead, and Berry pops it up and out of play. Nothing in 1 to Berry, who had an infield hit back in the 1st, an inning in which the Expos scored twice.
12-game hit streak for Sean Berry now. Just can't get this guy out of late. That's why he's hitting in that cleanup spot. And he's gone 5 for 9 in this series against the Mets.
Check swing on the knuckle curve, fouled away. Nothing in 2 to Berry. Maybe we got to mention, we talked about Carlos Perez and the antics and everything, and it appears to be a lot of fun and all that. But when things start going bad, you put yourself in danger of not being the same when things are going bad as they are when things are going well. It's a precarious situation you put yourself in, and don't think the opposing players don't salivate a little bit more when they can beat a guy like Perez.
And maybe say a couple of things
Sure.
on his way by.
Yeah. Just missing is Isringhausen. 2-2 to Sean Berry.
A couple of guys who are pitching the next 2 games here, and Perez in this one, and Martinez is going to be pitching tomorrow. Pedro Martinez have generated some conflict in games.
Ground ball left side. Husky throws out Berry. 1 out here in the 3rd. 5-2 Mets. Yeah, for different reasons, Gary.
Yep.
I think Perez, from his antics, and Martinez from coming inside to him, has already earned the reputation as being a headhunter.
He's had I think he's up to 4 brawls that have been instigated. 3 last year, 1 this year, as a result of batters that he's hit and generated. Some guys getting thrown out, including himself.
Inside to Rodriguez. 1-0 to Henry, who popped to short his first at bat. High, ball 2. As a matter of fact, Martinez established such a reputation, and Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxhall, the announcers for the Cincinnati Reds, were talking about it as him being a headhunter, and the Expos management became offended because they said that. Well, I mean, what are you supposed to say? I mean, this guy throws inside. I mean, here's a guy who hit Reggie Sanders when he had a perfect game. Now, last year, nobody, I think, thought Sanders should have gone out to the mound, but he comes inside with such consistency in trying to hit batters. At least that's the word around the league. I mean, you can't sugarcoat it. Rodriguez lifts one to left field and is caught by Buford. 2 outs.
Well, he's hit 9 batters.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not an infinitesimal number here. That's 4 or 5 years worth for most pitchers and hit batters.
Not only that, I mean, how many has he tried to hit?
Yeah.
And he's come inside to a bunch of guys.
I mean, that's his reputation. That's just a statement of fact.
Exactly. Mike Lansing with 2 out and nobody on. 0-1 to Lansing. Check swing, foul ball, 0-2 to Mike. There's a break in the action. Ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It's a big hit with fans everywhere because it won't fill you up and never let you down. So make it a Bud Light. 6 hits for each side. 5-2 Mets here in the 3rd. Strike 3 call. Second strikeout for Isringhausen as the Expos go in order. The separatist movement here in Quebec taking effect even at Olympic Stadium as we speak. And in for the play-by-play, here's Gary Thorne. I'll let you handle it.
That's going to be the final vote right there. All right, we go to the 4th inning. A 5-2 lead for the Mets. 5 runs, 6 hits for the Mets. 2 runs, 6 hits for Montreal. Carlos Perez, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Ryan Thompson drills one to left field on the first pitch. Rodriguez will haul that one in, but Perez is getting hit hard. 5 runs on 5 hits in the 3rd inning. 3-run homer by Everett and a home run by Kent. Back-to-back shots. 1 away here in the 4th inning. First outing Perez had was back against the Mets on the 16th of August. He gave up just a run on only 3 hits, striking out 8 against New York, but the Mets won that ball game. Bill Pulsiver getting the shutout and a 1-0 win. Perez here down by 3. Butch Husky hitting at 235. Big uppercut shot on that one. He struck out his first time up. Take a look at other games going on in the National League scoreboard. That National League Western Division race, the Rockies and Los Angeles both winning, so they've remained tied in first place for the lead there.
All eyes will be on that Braves-Marlin game tonight. Greg Maddux going for his 17th consecutive road win.
Up the middle, off Perez to second base. Play made by Lansing. Boy, did that pinball around on Perez. A 1-4-3 put out of Butch Husky. Perez appears to be all right.
Mentioned in last night's game that Branch Rickey used to say luck is a fact, not a factor. It was certainly a fact right there, that ball caroming off the leg of Perez. Otherwise a base hit for Husky.
2 down, bases empty. Kelly Stodetto had a double and scored. His last time up takes the strike. Oh, 2.
In Greg Maddox's last start, he tied a modern major league record of 16 consecutive road game wins The record was set initially by Cal McLish in 1959 and then tied by Denny McLean in 68, Rich Dotson in 84.
Boy, the Mets wouldn't mind winning this one and having the Marlins get beaten tonight, because the Mets have drawn to within 1 of Florida.
And 3.5 behind the Expos.
Yeah, chance to move up in the standings here in the last 20 games of the year. Check swing, he's gone. That'll be 6 strikeouts for Perez, who retires the Mets in order. Delighted to have you with us on this Sunday. Gary Thorne, Tim McIver here in Montreal. It has been a struggle at home for the Montreal Expos. They are 17 losses in their last 23 home games, and they have lost 5 of their last 6 overall. So their chances at a wild card spot are disappearing quickly. There's 6.5 games out of that wild card spot right now, and they've got 7 other teams in front of them.
And speaking of home games, the Mets return home on Tuesday night against the Houston Astros, and then the Phillies follow the Astros into Shea. Still plenty of seats available, obviously, but this team is a much improved team than you folks saw at the beginning of the year. They are something to talk about.
Different names and a different level of performance.
Yep.
Tony Tarasco hitting at 246, grounded out his first time up. Punches that one center field. Ryan Thompson started back, will drift in under it and puts it away. Tarasco retired, 1 away here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Isringhausen hasn't walked anybody, has struck out 2. He's got a 2-0 mark on the road with a very impressive 1.88 road earned run average. Chance to win his 6th of the season. Toyota American League scoreboard. The Indians, of course, have already wrapped up their division. They're just trying to see how many they can win. Breaking ball taken inside by Fletcher. Laker started this game behind the plate and had to come out. Pulled a muscle as he ran out a single. Fletcher came on as the pinch runner and has stayed in the game. Isringhausen's delivery is hit in the air deep to right center field. Thompson going back, way back. It's off the wall. Into second base, bobbled by Thompson, but he'll stay at second. Fletcher, a 1-out double.
This ball missing a home run by about 4 feet. See both hitter and pitcher looking, one with dismay, the other with delight.
17th double of the season for Fletcher. Isringhausen now with 1 away. Faces Carlos Perez, the pitcher, who grounds it to first. Backhanded Jones. Isringhausen covers. Perez retired. Fletcher moves over to third base, 2 away.
I'll tell you, that's an interesting situation. You mentioned the pitch count earlier with Carlos Perez. He's already thrown 64 pitches. You have a chance to score a run, maybe get back in the ball game, and Felipe Alou allows Perez to hit for himself when he's going to take him out possibly after the 5th inning.
Yep. And you got a bullpen full of pitchers to use.
Sure.
Yep. 2 for 2 in the ball game, and 284 on the season. Center fielder Rondell White, 23-year-old, takes the pitch up high. Runner on at third, 2 away. Expos picking up a couple of RBIs in that first inning. David Segui and Mike Lansing had the RBI singles. That's responded with the 5 runs in the third to take the 5-2 lead. Up high with a knuckle curve. 2 balls and no strikes on White. White has done real damage against the Mets this year. He's batting over .350 this year against the Mets, and he's had 5 hits in this series, 5 for 9. 2-0 breaking ball, catches the outside corner, 2-1. 271 career average coming into this year for White. He's above that now at 284 and only 23 years old. 2-1 delivery by Izzy is chopped towards first base. Jones plays it foul. 2-2.
That's That's the beauty of a 2-0 breaking ball. The 2-0 breaking ball was in for a strike, and once you plant that seed in a hitter's mind, then you can throw him the fastball. Rondell White appeared to be fooled on that fastball, even though it was a 2-1 pitch. That was because Isringhausen had thrown that 2-0 breaking ball over for a strike.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's full. This is outside with it, 3-2. White only .217 with runners in scoring position for this club. Still has 48 RBIs. He has power, 11 home runs. First 3-2 count for Izzy today. And here's the 3-2 delivery, and he got him. Sunday afternoon here in Montreal. Gary Thorne, Tim McCarver, delighted to have you with us, and hope you're having a good Sunday afternoon. So far, the Mets are.
Mets are having a good series after losing that last game to San Diego. You think about the losses, for the most part, they were in all the games, not blown out. They're 6-5 on this road trip and lead here by 3.
And we'll go to work here. Carlos Perez hasn't walked anybody, has struck out 6, but has given up the 5 runs on 6 hits, including the back-to-back homers by Everett and Kent. Jason Isringhausen, the Mets pitcher, will lead it off. Struck out his first time up, 4 for 19 at the plate this year. One of the problems the Expos have had in this series, along with Met pitching and play overall, is that they've stranded base runners. They have the second fewest number of base runners left on in the National League. But in this series, through the first 2 games, they stranded 16, and they already have left 5 on base in this ball game. They're just not getting people home when they get them on. 1-1 delivery. Isringhausen takes it away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jason has swung the bat pretty well this season. He has picked up a double, 3 singles. And that one to center field, lifted pretty good, but it's 404 back there to the wall. White hauls it in. Isringhausen retired, 1 away. This copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by Sterling Doubleday Enterprises LP solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Sterling Doubleday Enterprises LP is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, likewise prohibited. 1 away, nobody on. Leadoff batter Damon Buford, an RBI single in the 3rd inning, and then came around to score on the home run by Everett. He's had a couple of hits and 9 at-bats in this series. Perez outside. We were talking about the fact Perez may be limited in his pitch count, and it looks even more so now, Timmy. They've got the bullpen active.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, why allow him to hit in the 4th inning? I mean, here's a team continuing to fight for a wild card berth. They're 6.5 back, but allowing Perez, you only get 27 outs in a game. Not that Perez didn't hit the ball hard, but by pinch hitting there, you may not have a chance to pinch hit for that position anymore when it's meaningful.
That is kind of inexplicable.
Yeah.
At this point of the season for Montreal, every chance you've got to score a run has to be taken. And the tomorrows are almost gone. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Damon Buford, hitting a .216 on the year. Chops that one to second. Lansing had moved over towards the bag and makes the play. 2 down. 2 away in the 5th. Jose Vizcaino. Vizcaino grounded out his first time up and singled and scored during that 3rd inning. Vizcaino now at .278 on the year. Switch hitter batting right-handed against the lefty, fouls it back.
When you think about it, a pitch count is a nebulous thing anyway. I mean, who's to say that the back is not going to blow out before he throws 80 pitches, or that by throwing 110, you know, I mean, it seems to me to be a subjective thing. And this has always been the case in baseball, where a doctor really doesn't say, well, I think he should go. You never hear a medical guy say that I think 80 or 90 pitches is right. You hear a pitching coach and a manager, and how are they really qualified medically?
This will be his 76th pitch right here. Chopped to short. Grudzielanek on the second hop makes the play. Good inning for Perez as he retires the Mets in order. The youngsters on hand and cheering on their Expos, but right now Expos are trailing the New York Mets 5-2 as Tim McCarver takes us to the bottom of the fifth.
Mark Grudzielanek, the shortstop, will lead it off as we take a look at the new Dodge quiz. Deion Sanders' first Major League Baseball game was on May 31st, 1989. What current manager was Deion's manager that day? And it was with the New York Yankees, and you're pointing, and I think you got it right.
He's right down there in the Mets dugout, isn't he?
The guy in the visiting dugout, Dallas Green. I think that is exactly right. Fouled away, 0-1 to Grudzielanek. Obviously, that question because of Sanders signing that huge contract with the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, or agreeing to it. News conference being held tomorrow. And what's the answer? Grudzielanek hits it hard to center. Ryan Thompson there. One out here in the fifth. Was it Dallas? Oh, it was Dallas. No, we've already seen the answer there. I knew there was a period behind that for a reason.
Those short naps again, Art.
Those short naps are great. Now, I can't concentrate on an answer and have Grudzielanek up there at the same time. I can only do one thing at a time.
No, that's not fair. That's 4 or 5 things at a time.
Right. Certainly 4 or 5 syllables. Thank you very much, guys. Current manager Dallas Green managed the Yankees when Deion played his first game, and that's why the period is behind the answer and not a question mark. Thank you. David Segui takes the knuckle curve inside. 1 ball, no strikes to Segui.
You know, I heard this morning we were talking about Deion Sanders' deal, which I guess at the press conference tomorrow will be finally put out to the public, but apparently he's going to be allowed to continue to play baseball.
That's what I heard.
You're going to pay a guy $30 million
for 8 games a year. Maybe 8 or 12.
What are you saying in football about the value of the regular season games?
Bring up an interesting point. That is a point with which I am impressed.
Never mind.
Fly ball left field. Buford runs out of room.
Here you see Deion, some of the accomplishments that he's had. Super Bowl, World Series, only person. NFL Defensive Player, 94. World Series numbers, 92. Dallas will be his 7th team in 7 years as a pro, baseball and football.
Two and one to David Segui, and he hits it hard to right center field. Thompson is over to track it down. 2 outs.
Good jump by Ryan Thompson. David Segui got all of that. I mean, that's about as hard as he's going to hit a baseball. We said 404 to deep center, but Thompson got a tremendous jump on it right off the bat, saw it, kept his eye on it. Nice catch.
Sean Berry, the third baseman, the batter, with 2 out, nobody on. The Mets up by 3 here in the 5th. I think the fact what you just pointed out, how can they allow him to play baseball, adds more grist to the theory that Nike is heavily involved in financing part of that contract, because it would behoove the Nike shoe company for Sanders to play 2 sports.
More publicity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we've heard the last of this story. The NFL is going to have to investigate the ramifications of this deal and what's gone on, I think, behind it.
I mean,
and they want to, because they're already in a fist fight with Dallas.
Yep. And Jerry Jones, their owner.
Yep.
I mean, you would think that Commissioner Paul Tagliabue already is starting an investigation, not because of the Sanders deal, but because of the alliance between the shoe company and a professional sports team. It may end up in court. Common sense would tell you.
It may.
2 and 1 to Berry. 2-2 to Sean. Breaking ball is low. Full count to Sean Berry. Expos took the lead in the first inning with 2 runs on 4 singles, and the Mets with 5 runs in the third, all scored with 2 outs. Big blows, a 3-run homer by Carl Everett and a solo shot by Jeff Kent. Popped up. Kelly Stinnett. Butch Husky, and it's Husky backpedaling to make the catch. After 5, it's 5-2 New York.
New York Mets with a 5-2 lead as they go after their 3rd in a row. They will now face Gil Heredia. Second time he has appeared in this series. He has been a starter for a good part of the year, now working out of the bullpen. 10 relief appearances, has an ERA of 1.93 as a relief pitcher, and has thrown 11 consecutive scoreless innings out of the bullpen. 29-year-old right-hander.
And Carl Everett batting from the left side. A 3-run homer from the right side in the 3rd inning. Slider from Heredia. 0-1 to Carl Everett. Carl now with 21 RBIs in his last 19 games, and as Gary said earlier, he has not hit for a high average, but he has made his hits count. 1-1 to Everett. Base hit left field by Sean Berry. Everett's going to make it at least to second. Fielded by Rodriguez. And Carl Everett, after the homer, has doubled the lead off the 6th inning.
Carl Everett, who's making all his starts in right field because of the tremendous throwing arm that he has thus been given the opportunity to play in virtually every game. He's not one of those outfielders being moved around in outfield position, so a real chance for him to show here at the end of the season what he's got. And what he's got is a potent bat and big hits.
Double number 11 after home run number 11, and Jeff Kent the batter. Nobody out here in the 6th. 5-2 New York. Inside corner, strike 1. Good slider from Heredia. 0-2 to Jeff Kent. Rico Brogna on deck. He'll be the pinch hitter for Chris Jones. Going to add his strong glove to your defense, so you might as well use the left-right combination here. And that's what Dallas Green is doing with no one warmed up for the Expos. 1-2 to Jeff Kent. Ground ball, foul ball. Just foul. Still 1-2. You know, thinking further on this Sanders deal, you wonder if a contract like that is going to make him happy without wanting all the adulation and praise that comes along with a big contract. I think the modern day athlete should be criticized. I think it's a worthy criticism Inside, 2-2 to Kent. When you think about it, they think adulation and big money run hand in hand. I once saw a definition for the word happiness, and it said happiness is wanting what you have.
That has never been Dion.
And that is really kind of a sign of the modern day athlete. What they have is a lot of money, and they have a tendency, not a tendency, more than a tendency, to take it for granted after they get it and expect the adulation that is not necessarily forthcoming, nor should it be necessarily forthcoming. It often is in our society because a lot of people equate character with money. Full count to Kent. Low, ball 4. Good at bat for Jeff Kent. Jim Leland, the last time the Pittsburgh Pirates were at Shea Stadium, had an hour-long talk with him, and you and I both enjoyed talking to what we both consider one of the finest, if not the finest manager in the game. And he said, talking about Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla when they were there, and how he tried to treat them the same as everybody else. And he told Barry Bonds one time, he said, you know, Barry, because you're the best player, the one perk that you get on this team that nobody else gets is that you make more money than they do. Other than that, you're the same as everybody else. Rico Brogna's first at bat, 0-1 to Brogna.
They certainly don't view themselves that way. Bonds for one, Deion Sanders for another. And I think many of the superstars, high salaried players, expect far more than that one perk.
Yeah, they expect the money, but they want the groveling and the bootlicking to come along with it. And hey, when you're talking about dignity, it's just not the case. It's 1-1 to Brogna.
Well, again,
from any sensible person.
Yep.
Now, collectively, we talked about the fabric of our country and society and all that sort of stuff. There's too much of an emphasis on athletics, whether it's Little League ball or organized college athletics. Line drive off the glove of Heredia, and he had only one play, and he gets Brogna at first. An adventurous play for Gil Heredia as the runners move up 90 feet.
Ball hit fairly hard by Rico Brogna. Rico does not have great speed going down the line. That's why Heredia had the chance here. Heredia won, able to knock it down. Only he can make the play here, though. Watch as he tries to pick it up, bobbles it once, still gets the underhand flip in time to David Segui.
And Ryan Thompson, the batter, 0 for 2 on the afternoon. And certainly we're not just picking out Deion Sanders because of the contract that he signed, or Barry Bonds because of the money that he's making, but just as an indication that this is it's across the board with the modern day athletes, and there are exceptions, obviously, to that rule.
And the best one this year has been Ripken.
Yeah,
a shining example of how you can play this game and do incredible things and still be very human about it.
A little looper, line drive, Everett off at third, safe. A good job by Carl Everett to get back before being doubled. 2 outs.
Broke the bat on that one. Ryan Thompson with the infield drawn in. Lansing way in. Heredia's pitch riding in here right off the fists. Everett started towards the plate on that. That's why he had to go back in on his belly to get back to third. Probably a wrong first move there for Carl. That's just something he's got to work on. In that situation, he doesn't want to be going to the plate. If the ball goes through, he scores easily. He wants to be avoiding that double play, but he took a step towards home, and that created the risk.
One of the greatest athletes of our time, Jerry Rice with the San Francisco 49ers. It seems like with the more publicity he gets, the more money that he makes, the less he says things. All he does is work harder to try to be greater. I know of no more athlete who goes and makes himself even better with the more success that he has. What more can he do? What keeps driving this man? But he does it. Seems like the genuine will to succeed with a guy like Jerry Rice is so evident.
Well, it's why you can't buy a championship.
Right.
You cannot go out and buy with money players who want to win. They want to win. They want to win no matter what you pay them.
The Yankees have proven that.
Yeah.
They haven't won since 1981, and nobody spent more on contracts
Yeah.
than Steinbrenner over that time.
It doesn't work. You can go out and buy a lot of talented players who want to win. If you can do that, you'll have a winning team. But it's not because you spend a lot of money. It's because you spend it on guys who have that will.
2-2 to Husky, and it's an arguable fact that last year, had the Dallas Cowboys had Deion Sanders, would they have beaten San Francisco? Possibly. I mean, that's certainly an exception to what we're talking about here. Would they have won the Super Bowl? Possibly. Ground ball towards short. Grudzielanek throws out Husky. The Mets threaten. They don't score. They lead it 5-2. 5-2 Mets, bottom of the 6th inning. Jason Isringhausen, after giving up 2 runs on 4 hits in the 1st inning, has held the Expos scoreless over the next 4 as Rico Brogna stays in the game, obviously, at first base. Each side with 7 hits. This has been an errorless game thus far. Bottom of the 6th inning, Henry Rodriguez leads it off. Beauty and the Beast here in Montreal. Beautiful music in that Broadway play. Same company that owns that Broadway play also owns Cap City's ABC. It'll be official in January. 25% of the California Angels and the Mighty Ducks in Anaheim. 2-0 to Henry Rodriguez. That, of course, Disney.
Soon that entire area will be just one big theme park, including a hockey team and a baseball team, and Disneyland.
And in 200 years, this whole world may be a theme park. 3-0 to Rodriguez, and he takes a strike. 3-1. Henry knew he was getting the fastball, but he fouls it back. 3-2 to Henry Rodriguez here in the 6th inning. Hard to center. Thompson over and back. Ryan Thompson has put on a roving clinic in center field over the last 4 outs. He's had 3 putouts, 2 in the 5th, 1 here in the 6th. And Mike Lansing coming up.
Tell how hard these balls are being hit, just how tough it is to get a ball out in center field or in the power alleys even here. It's a long way because the ball tends not to carry and to kind of die out there, and they just don't travel far in center.
Mike Lansing 1 for 2, an RBI single in the 2nd inning. Make that the 1st inning, and he takes ball 1. There's a strike. 1-1 to Lansing.
When the roof used to open up and they had an air system here that would bring air in and it would go out through the roof, I mean, balls would fly out of here like you couldn't believe. The flags that are hanging at the top of the rim over center field used to actually blow up. Those flags right there, when that draft was going, would be blowing up towards the open roof. As we said, that roof is now sealed, and you see there is no movement there on those flags.
1-2 pitch gets him. So Lansing down on strikes. That's 7 in a row now, retired by Isringhausen. 4 strikeouts for Jason. Tony Tarasco coming up.
Isringhausen's gotten tougher as the game's rolled along here. A great pitch. Probably a little low, but he can't take it, being behind on the count, and you're not going to hit that one.
Good breaking ball. That knuckle curve ball held with the fingertips. Forefinger and the middle finger. 0-1 to Tarasco. Another knuckle curve, 0-2. See a guy who throws that pitch always keeping his nails filed very short. Tarasco fouls it back, still 0-2 to Tony Tarasco. 44 versus 44.
Tough season for Tarasco with that .245 batting average. He had a position here. They were very high on him at the start of the year. He now comes in and out of the lineup. This has not been what they'd hoped offensively.
Fouls it off, still 0-2.
Boy, was that a nasty pitch. Another one of those ugly swings you get on that breaking ball that comes in from Isringhausen.
Yeah, it's that toppling overspin knuckle curveball.
Can't do anything with it.
Strike 3 call. Top of the 7th inning, 14,358 on hand. But they are not happy right now. The Mets with 5 in the 3rd inning, all runs being scored after 2 out. And back in to take you the rest of the way, Gary Thorne.
All right, Timmy, and Kelly Stinnett will be leading it off for the Mets. It'll be Stinnett, Isringhausen, and Damon Buford up for New York. Kelly had a double and scored in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Batting at .220 on the season now. Todd Hundley working his way back into the lineup for the Mets as he and Stinnett now share the duties. Todd Hundley started the ball game last night. Todd's just trying to get his stamina back. Stinnett, 2-strike count on him. Mets have stranded only 2 in this game. That came in that last inning. 5 have been left on by Montreal, but they have had their last 8 hitters retired in order by Isringhausen. Bounced by Gil Heredia, who is on in relief of Carlos Perez, who worked 5 innings and was charged with 5 runs on 6 hits, 2 home runs, Everett and Kent. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 6, but Perez, pitcher of record, with Heredia on in relief. That 9-1 mark at home for Perez in danger here. And a strike called on the outside corner. Kelly Stinnett retired. Heredia gets his first strikeout, 1 away in the 7th. Day in, day out at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up and never let you down, so make it a Bud Light. Isringhausen towards short. Grudzielanek over. And Izzy's retired. And a nasty little step on Segui there by Isringhausen.
Jason obviously didn't mean to do that, but he was really busting it down the line. And I think that throw may have taken Segui's foot onto the bag a little bit more than he wanted. Gets him in the heel. Obviously unintentional. Looked like he tripped, that Isringhausen hit the front of the bag and then came over his heel with the toe of his left foot.
Grounded towards short. Grudzielanek drops it. Makes the play off the mark. It'll be a base hit. Damon Buford gets his 2nd hit, 2 for 4.
The aroma of a hit and running hard go hand in hand.
Damon Buford, the sweet smell on that one, his 2nd single. So the Mets with 2 down. Buford's on at first base. Jose Vizcaino a single in 3 at-bats and scored in the 3rd. Vizcaino towards second, played by Lansing. Flip over to Segui, and that'll do it. No runs, a base hit. 1 left on. 7th inning stretch time in Montreal, where the Mets are leading 5-2. 7th inning stretch time. Fans getting up here in Montreal. They're clubbed down by 3. Mets about hit them 8-7 in this game. Jason Isringhausen has gone the distance, looking for his 4th consecutive win and his first over the Expos. The outs today, pretty well divided. No walks. Izzy here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Will have Fletcher, the pitcher, and then Rondell White due up for the Expos. They'll have a pinch hitter coming out with the bullpen active. Fletcher drills that one to right field. Carl Everett, right at the edge of the warning track, calls in the line drive. Fletcher, who had a double, his only other at bat, now 1 for 2, 1 away in the 7th.
You notice how Isringhausen has been challenging the Expos early in the count. He realizes he has a 3-run lead, and he pitches differently. He is uncanny in his wisdom, far beyond his years as far as his pitching technique.
F.P. Santangelo, a pinch hitter. Frank Paul fouls that one back. Strike 1. Santangelo is a pinch hitter, 1 for 4. A call up from their AAA team, switch hitter, 308 right-handed, 250 left. He's picked up 1 home run, 5 RBIs. Santangelo, the 0-1 to him, a fastball misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gil Heredia out of the ball game. The pinch hitter coming on here. Good job by Heredia. Worked a couple of innings worth of relief work and gave up 2 hits. Walking 1, striking out 1. Didn't give up any runs. The 2-1 delivery is foul back. Brian Eversgerd, who we've seen in this series against the Mets, will be coming on in relief. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Santangelo. Contract purchased on August 2nd to bring Santangelo up. Tomahawks that one. Isringhausen's got a cover. Kent makes the throw and didn't get him. Isringhausen thought he'd found the bag, but Wally Bell, the first base umpire, said no. Or it was simply beaten out. I'm not sure which.
Well, the ball and Isringhausen arrive about at the same time to first base. First base umpire Wally Bell says that he missed the bag. That had to be it.
And it does look like he tried to reach back again, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. May have got him with his toe, but he was not sure, and he tried to kick back. So a good call by Wally Bell, it appeared.
Infield single. Santangelo on at first with a pinch hit single with 1 away. Each team now with 8 hits in the ball game. And the top of the order, Rondell White, 2 singles in his first 2 at-bats, struck out his last time up. 5-2 Met lead, bottom half of the 7th inning. Santangelo back to the bag. White batting at .283 on the year. Outfield deep on him. 1-0 delivery. Fastball misses inside. Isringhausen falls behind here. 2 balls and no strikes. Jason working the 8 innings in his last start against San Diego, giving up no runs on 5 hits. Another good performance in this one. Souvenir for the fan. 2 ball 1 strike count on White.
That grandfather is just beaming. I assume that's the grandfather of that young man right there. He made the catch, being congratulated by Montreal's version of Fred Bird.
One of your favorites. 2-2.
Oopie.
Is that an exclamation, or are you giving us the name?
They have the exclamation point right there. I think we made our point.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And D'Angelo back. Isringhausen clearly trying to be more conscious of the base runners in this game, making more throws over. And a great breaking ball. That knuckle curve down and away. His 6th strikeout.
You'd see a lot of right-handers knuckling under this knuckle curve. This is devastating right here. That's unfair. That is nasty.
6 strikeouts in the game. Twice he has gotten White swinging. Now Mike Grzelcyk, the shortstop, who's 0 for 3 in the ball game. 2 down. Santangelo remains on at first base. And the fastball in there for a called strike. Isringhausen has held right-handers coming into this game to a 186 batting average. Lefties at 286 on him, but that average has dropped down over his last 2 starts. 0-1 fastball away. Overall, the opposition's hitting only 238 off Isringhausen. And as the games have gone along and he's made more starts, he's dropped that overall number down. Grzelcyk with a 1-1. Santangelo back to the bag. Jerry DiPoto warming for the Mets. 1-1 to Grzelcyk. Towards short. Vizcaino got the force. Kent takes it, and that'll do it. No runs, a base hit, and 1 left on. 7 complete in Montreal with the Mets on top. You take a look at our Honda line score, and we'll return right after this message.
Hey kids, Saturday, September 16th. That's next Saturday, a Sports Channel Back to School Day. All fans 14 and under at the 1:40 Mets-Phillies game will get a school assignment booklet, which also features articles on the Mets, the Nets, Devils, and Islanders, courtesy of Sports Channel. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX during business hours, or stop by the Mets clubhouse shops. A per-ticket surcharge applies. Brian Eversgerd is in for Gil Heredia. Mets on top, 5-2 here in the top of the 8th inning. So Brian Eversgerd obtained from the St. Louis Cardinals in the Ken Hill trade. 15th appearance of the year. You may remember earlier, the first time the Mets were here, Todd Hundley had a grand slam home run off Eversgerd in the 10th inning. Todd as a pinch hitter in that ball game. One of the reasons is ERA is .975 and only 14 appearances.
So a left-hander coming out of the pen for Heredia. And Carl Everett will lead it off against him. Everett delivering his 11th home run, a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. Did it batting right-handed off the starter, Carlos Perez, who gave up back-to-back home runs with Kent following with a shot. Everett up to 245 now, 11 home runs, and a very impressive 41 runs batted in for the Mets right fielder. Eversgerd off the fist, another broken bat, base hit center field. Rondell White in to get it. And Everett continues strong, a 3-for-4 ball game with a leadoff single here in the 8th inning. Take a look at our Nobody Beats the Wiz game summary. The Mets, Everett with that big 3-run homer, kept the solo shot back-to-back with him. Izzy's gone 7, a couple of runs on 8 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. The Expos, Segui, Lansing have the RBIs. Perez, the starter, worked but 5. Gave up the 2 home runs among those 6 hits, and all 5 runs charged to him. Did strike out 6, but he's the pitcher of record. Could take the loss here. Jeff Kent takes the fastball up high. Kent getting that home run off the left-hander Perez. For Jeff this season, only the 3rd of his 17 home runs that have come off a southpaw. He's batting just about .250 right now against left-handers. A 1-0 count on him here. Everett at first. Mets with 9 hits in the ball game. They picked up 6 runs on 12 hits in last night's game. Mets have moved their batting average as a team up to .266, 5th best in the National League. 2 balls, no strikes on Kent. Willie Frazier, who also has appeared in this series in the bullpen for Felipe Alou's Expos. Kent 2 for 2 and a walk. Slider comes inside to him. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jeff, coming into this game, was hitting only .211 on the season against the Montreal Expos. A much better day than that here today. Single and a home run, and then the walk his last time up. 2-1 pitch to him. But after a high fastball and fouls it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mets conclude this road trip, the final game. This long road trip. Bill Pulsiver and Pedro Martinez tomorrow night here in Montreal, and then we'll return home. Start the homestand on Tuesday. And the Mets not decided who's going to make that start on Tuesday against Houston. Fastball that misses inside, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Kent. Mets will have Bobby Jones pitching on Wednesday night. We'll have the ball game Thursday night. Dave Malicki goes against Shane Reynolds. Three-two count on Kent. Right field towards the line. Tony Tarasco moving over with plenty of room. Retiring Jeff Kent. Everett back to first. Rico Brogna came on after Chris Jones has started at first base. Rico on to hit in the 6th inning and grounded out in his only at bat. Been tough for Rico here in Montreal because of the left-handers going. Dallas Green has kept him out of the lineup. He has come in later in the ball games as a defensive replacement or to hit a right-hander out of the pen. He faces the lefty here. The numbers for Rico, well, coming into the game, .230 against left-handers and .310 against right-handers. Second half of the season against lefties, he has really struggled because he had that average up there over .270, around .280 in fact at one point against left-handers through the first quarter of the season. That has gone down as the year's gone along.
Dallas holding him out of the lineup when a tough left-hander is on the mound. He'll start about 80 to 85% of the games.
Slider down and away, missed it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He is by no means considered a platoon player by Dallas Green or himself.
No. They don't want him to be a platoon player.
No.
Batting .293 overall. 1-1 count to Rico. Jammed him, fouled off at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just 1 error behind former teammate David Segui for the best fielding percentage at first base. Segui is 1 with 1 error. Rico is 2 with 2 errors. Everett, pretty good lead, not running. 1-2 pitch, fouled off the other way. As we've mentioned before, in the case of both of these first basemen, even more impressive are the number of errors that they deny their own infielders.
Yeah.
Because they come up with so many great picks over there at first base. Brogna and Segui can both do that with the best of them.
Yeah, that's what determines their worth, not how many errors they make, but how many they prevent.
Jammed him with a fastball, gets the strikeout. Ryan Eversgerd, first strikeout, 2 down.
That was the best place where that pitch was to Rico Brogna. The best place for a left-handed pitcher to pitch a left-handed hitter, generally speaking. Right there.
Couldn't catch up to that one. 2 down, and Ryan Thompson. Ryan's taken the 0 for 3 rather, in this game. He has 3 hits in 11 at-bats in the series. His average at .263 on the year. Got out of that home run slump with his 7th home run of the season in the 5th inning last night. Chases that one. Ryan had gone 74 at-bats since coming off the DL without a home run prior to the shot he hit last night. 7 home runs and 29 RBIs for Thompson. He's playing in just his 59th game because of all that time lost on the DL. 1 ball, 2 strike count on him. Everett led this inning off with a single and is still there. Thompson's got a 100-point difference between lefties and righties. Almost exactly 340 plus on left-handers and about 241 against right-handers. One ball, 2 strikes on the Mets center fielder. Eversgerd staring over at Carl Everett. Big cut, he's gone.
Jerry Dipoto in relief of Jason Isringhausen. Isringhausen going 7 innings, giving up 2 first-inning runs on 8 hits, striking out 6, walking none. So Jerry Dipoto could be in a hold situation for John Franco. Franco earning a save in last night's game. We'll see, and I would imagine Dallas will see how Dipoto does in this inning.
Another fine outing for Jason Isringhausen, trying to win his 4th in a row. He will wait now and see if the pen can wrap this up for the Mets. 29th overall start on the season with the 7 innings worked here. He's now worked 194 innings this year between AA, AAA, and the major leagues. Speaking of that, we congratulate Norfolk on their win last night. Paul Wilson, a shutout victory over Richmond, 5-0. And the AAA team of the Mets Norfolk will move into the finals now of the International League against Ottawa, the AAA team of Montreal, as they won their ball game last night as well. 2 ball, no strike count on David Segui. Segui an RBI single in the first. He is 1 for 3 in the game. He and Mike Lansing had the 2 RBI singles in the first inning. And Montreal took the 2-0 lead, but the Mets got 5 runs in the 3rd. And that's the 2nd time in this series Segui has backed away on a pitch while it was being delivered. 3-0.
It's also the 2nd time in 2 days that the Mets relievers, Don Florence last night came in and threw 4 straight balls. And now Dipoto with 3 straight balls before finding the strike zone.
Watch him here. Does he call timeout?
He was just taking all the way.
The other game, he called timeout last night and didn't get it called. That one to left field. It'll stay up. Buford puts it away. Segui's retired. 1 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. So a couple of hits for the former Met in this series. 1 for 4 in this game. 2 for 12 in the series. Sean Berry. Mets with a win here could move into a tie with Florida and try and get out of that cellar in the National League East. The Florida Marlins we mentioned earlier are going to be playing against the Atlanta Braves tonight, and it'll be Mr. Maddox on the mound. Timmy was talking about the record that Maddox has a shot at.
17 consecutive road wins. That would set an all-time major league record if Maddox wins tonight.
See Dotson, McLean, McLeish, and Maddox all tied with that lead at 16.
Cal McClish, the first pitching coach here in Montreal for Gene Mock.
Sean Berry off the fist to right. Kyle Everett coming. Makes the catch. Berry retired. He's 1 for 4. Busy outfield day for the Mets. 2 down in the 8th. Jerry DiPoto falling behind that first hitter. Segui has come back now and gotten the 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Henry Rodriguez coming up. Take a look at the National League scoreboard. Astros still in a battle for the wild card spot. Dodgers, of course, are battling Colorado for the lead and or the wild card. Giants a long shot for postseason. There's that game coming up tonight. Rodriguez with the 0 for 3. His second start since coming off the DL. Started last night. Grounded to Kent. Got a long throw. Rights himself and makes it. And a good inning for Jerry DiPoto, who retires the side in order.
Mel Rojas is in the ball game now for Montreal, and Joe Ursulak's going to come out as a pinch hitter for Butch Husky. Dallas Green looking for more here in the 9th inning. So Joe Ursulak, a pinch hitter against Mel Rojas, who's 1 4 on the year, 53 saves. He's second to Tim Scott, but he is their stopper, and he has not pitched in this series. 26 saves on the year. Only 2 other Expos have saves. Make that 3 other Expos.
Just needs some work here. Rojas coming on in the 9th inning, and Joe Ursulak fouls the pitch back. Joe finally getting an appearance here in this series against Montreal.
Gary, last inning we talked about Cal McClish winning 16 straight road games. Bobby Wine also a player up here, initially with the Montreal Expos. So I guess the caption right now would be the days of Wine and Rojas. And there they are. We've been waiting for that, folks.
We have. We had that lined up. Ooh, that caught him, I think, on the hand. It did. Ursulak was not going to go down until to first base, rather, till Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, indicated to take it.
And we do give credit, folks. That was a line by Vin Scully years ago in Philadelphia when Cookie Rojas was the second baseman, and his double play partner was Bobby Wine. And Vinny's saying that those days were the days of Wine and Rojas. Gotta love it. Yeah.
Ursulak hit by Rojas. Well, the Mets have the leadoff man on here in the 9th inning, leading at 5-2. Kelly Stinnett. Kelly with a double in his 3 at-bats. Bobby's the man who now runs the baseball heaven, where the fantasy camp is being played with Met players. Take a look at our Toyota American League scoreboard.
Cleveland's finally winning.
Yeah, they had a tough season, especially at home. Can't win a ball game.
Yeah.
Of course, they've already wrapped up the division title, so they're moving on to postseason play.
Wino does a terrific job with that camp, that baseball heaven. Former Mets players joining Wino. You talk about a guy who could flat play the position of shortstop. I mean, he had a cannon. He could throw with anybody. Talk about going in the hole, going to his right, planting and throwing to first. Nobody could do it any better than Bobby Wine.
Well, he'll be there. Baseball heaven. You can get information on it through the Mets. Bobby Ojeda has agreed that he's going to be there. Mookie Wilson's going to go. Gary Carter says he's going to be there at the baseball heaven at Port St. Lucie, the Mets training camp. So a chance for a little fantasy camp for you with Bobby Wine and company. Swung on and fouled off into the seats by Kelly Stinnett. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Mets catcher. That's about hit the Expos 9-8. Expos getting those 2 runs in the first inning. That's it. The Mets scored all of theirs in the 3rd. 3-run homer by Everett, followed by a homer by Kent, and an RBI single in that inning by Damon Buford. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ursulak at first. Rojas with heat gets it in for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rojas up there among the save leaders with 26. Tom Henke leads with 33. Tied for 5th with Trevor Hoffman as Rojas. Swung on and missed. Kelly Stinnett retired. Was a position that the Expos were really concerned with. Wetland, of course, had been their save man, and Rojas taking that position. Tim Bogar will get a shot at him now. Bogar will bat for Jerry Dipoto, worked the 1 inning and retired all 3 batters that he faced. Bogar hitting at .288. Chases the breaking ball down low, ball 1. Timmy is a pinch hitter, 3 hits and 12 at-bats. Overall, some very fine numbers: a home run, 15 RBIs, and that .288 average, including 5 doubles. One away, runner at first, 5-2 Mets, 9th inning. Rojas fastball misses down low, 1-1. Montreal starting the day 6.5 games out in the wild card spot. Seattle a half game ahead of New York in the American League for the wild card, but Kansas City is only a game out. Texas is only 2 out. Milwaukee, Oakland, all within striking distance.
There are a lot of division winners in the American League that do not want to face the Seattle Mariners in a short series, with the prospects of Randy Johnson being able to go 2 of the games. Remember, the wild card series will be the best 3 out of 5.
Chop to third. Berry goes to second. They get the force out. Orsulak taken out on the force play, 2 down. That is a dangerous scenario.
Randy Johnson, Andy Bennis now from San Diego, whereas if you play a team like the Yankees and the Yankees are pitching short, you know you're going to score your runs, or at least from all indications you would. The Yankees with a much younger pitching staff than Seattle, or for that matter any of the other wild card teams. Seattle with the best pitching for a short series.
That one blooped to right center field by Damon Buford, falls in for a base hit. Over to third base goes Tim Bogar, and Buford picks up his 3rd hit, a 3-for-5 game, 3 singles for Damon Buford. Keeps the 9th inning alive. 1st and 3rd, 2 down. Well, we've talked about how the Cleveland Indians probably will finish with the best record in baseball and not play the wild card team because of the way it's going to potentially settle out. They may just as soon not play a wild card team if it ends up looking somebody like Seattle. And Seattle, of course, in the Western Division, along with California, that's got the lead there by 6. Grounded down to first, foul by Segui. Vizcaino at the plate has had a hit and 4 times up, a single in the 3rd.
The teams with the home field advantage in the wild card playoffs will be the East and the Western Division champions, and in the National League, the Eastern and Central Division champions will be the teams with the home field advantage.
0-1 delivery by Rojas. Vizcaino's got an RBI and another base hit. Another 2-out RBI. All 6 runs in this game. The New York Mets have garnered after there have been 2 down. Vizcaino, his 2nd hit.
And David Segui looking with admiration on his former teammate, realizing what kind of year he's had. Head down, hits it the other way. RBI number 51 on the year for Vizcaino, 3 shy of his career high at 54 with Chicago 2 years ago.
Bogar scores, runners at first and second with 2 away. So Mel Rojas comes on here, and so far touched up for the run on a couple of hits and a hit batter. Everett already the home run, the double, and the single. Down to third, foul. Behind on the count, 0-2.
It's a bit confusing. We talked about home field advantage, the East and the West in the American League, the East and the Central in the National League. A home field advantage means that those teams without it will start in their home park. And if it goes 5 games, the last 3 games will be played in the teams with the home field advantage.
And strike 3.
6-2 Mets here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Blas Minor is in there. John Franco was warming up, but when the Mets scored the other run, it takes Franco out of a save situation. So Minor warmed along with John, and he's the pitcher, 3-2 on the year. His 30th appearance of the year. Blas Minor, the 3rd Met pitcher of this game.
Mets trying to make it 3 in a row and guarantee themselves a successful road trip. They're 6-5 on it already, with 1 more game left to go tomorrow night here. Down the line, fair ball, Mike Lansing. Into the corner, Damon Buford going to get it, and he's in with a leadoff double. Bottom of the 9th inning, Lansing's 2nd hit, 2 for 4.
Now you will probably see John Franco get back up. Dallas Green taking no chances, and there goes John to warm up. He's about ready, so Dallas could bring him in at any time.
Due up here, Tony Tarasco batting in the 7th spot, and then the catcher, Darren Fletcher. Bottom of the 9th, Mets 6-2. Montreal with their 9th hit. On at second base, Fletcher. Tarasco has gone 0 for 3 in the ball game. Takes that pitch for a strike. Lansing off second base, picking up his 29th double of the season. Inside, stopped by Stinnett. 1-1. Blas Minor relieving Jerry DiPoto, who worked 1 inning, retired all 3 batters he faced. Jason Isringhausen, the pitcher of record for the Mets, trying to go 6-2 after working the first 7 with a couple of runs on 8 hits. Carrasco on a check swing, did not go around. Stinnett wants to go out and have a word with Minor. Tony Tarasco has power. He's got 12 home runs, 34 RBIs. He has, however, struck out 76 times this year. He's #1 on the Montreal Expos, having gone down the K route. 2-1 count on him here. Minor's pitch is popped up, second base. Kent. 1 away.
Tell you, Tim Bogart way back at third base. Tony Tarasco, all you have to do is look down there, and they're giving you the bunt. And probably the same with Darren Fletcher. The thing is that Fletcher will bunt for a base hit. I think if I were Timmy, I'd be even with the bag right now. Fletcher's not a bad runner for a catcher. All he has to do is get it down anywhere. It's a base hit.
They need base runners here, trailing by 4. Ball 1 to Fletcher. Fletcher doubled in the 4th, 1 for 2 in the game. 288 on the season. Didn't start. Tim Laker, who started, pulled a muscle, beating out an infield hit in his first at bat in the 2nd, and had to leave the game. Minor misses outside, 2-0. Fletcher may wait here and make Blas Minor throw a strike. Check of Lansing at second. 2-0. Got the outside corner with that. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lansing leading off the bottom of the 9th inning with a double. Liner with a 2-1. That one drilled to right field. Everett over. Holds it in. Chance for the double play. Throw to Vizcaino. A little off the mark. And not in time as Lansing gets back. 2 down.
I'll tell you, in a 4-run game, if Mike Lansing had been doubled off at second base, the fans that are left of the 14,300, if you think the boos were bad Friday night and Saturday, they would have been raining down on Mike Lansing.
That was too close as it was.
That's right. That's right. You're 4 runs down. You have to play 1 base at a time.
Jeff Treadway will pinch hit for Mel Rojas. Treadway is a pinch hitter, 6 for 39. He has 10 pinch hit RBIs. Punches that one down the left field line, foul. So the Mets leading at 6-2, bottom half of the 9th. Lansing on at second and 2 away. Lansing on at second base with Treadway. Trying to keep the inning alive here. 0-1. What a cut on the breaking ball. Ooh. Fooled him badly on the splitter. 0-2.
I think Jeff will see that pitch again. This ball really goes down. No headway for Treadway on that swing.
Not that one. 0-2 the count. Treadway to first, should be the ball game. It's taken to the bag by Bronin. That's it. The Mets have won the first 3 games of this 4-game series. Just a solid performance all the way around for the Mets.
It really was. All runs, all 6 of them scored with 2 outs. 5 in the 3rd inning and a big one in the 9th. Big 3-run home run by Carl Everett. Solo shot by Jeff Kent. Mets with 5 2-out hits today.
Managers love that. Isringhausen gets the win to go 6-2. He's now won his last 4. Carlos Perez, the starter, takes the loss. He is 10-6 for the Expos. No save in this one.